Our next personality on stage, ladies and gentlemen, is an eminent industrialist and chairman emeritus of Kokuyo, Camlin Limited. He is also corporate advisor to Camlin Fine Sciences Limited and of Shushrusha Hospital Limited, Dadar, Mumbai. He has held various positions in different entities as Executive Chairman, Camlin Limited, Chairman, SICOM, State Investment Corporation of Maharashtra. He has many years of experience in building and branding businesses from stationery to chemicals, brings a unique perspective on startup entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage for another sit-down chat with Ajita, we have Mr. Subhash Dandekar.
Thank you, Mr. Dandekar. So I'm sure all of us have grown up with Camlin, haven't we? The ubiquitous orange geometry box we're all so familiar with. So now we're going to talk to the person who's behind those, in the Indian stationery business, the branded Indian stationery business, who's made stationery, Camlin a household name. So we just want to know, you've been an entrepreneur, your business is close to 90 years if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you've kind of been around for so many decades. It'll be interesting to know how the role of an entrepreneur has changed over years.
The Camlin was started by my father in 1931. First product being Camel ink and some household adhesives. He was also BSc Chemistry from Institute of Science. That time it was pre-Independence Day, it was called Royal Institute of Science. So it was before, much before independence. So that was the time when engine, as it is called, pin to engine, everything was imported. So whatever entrepreneur did was import substitution. And whenever import substitution, that means you have to face the foreign brands. As it is, the foreign brands were entrenched. Now, like if you have to talk of Camel ink, which was the product, the Parker, which is now also existing, Parker was there, Waterman was there, Swan was there, Pelican German was there. And no Indian consumer in that time would ever believe that Indian can make the other side anything else, even ink. So the major fight was against the bias against the Indian produce. And I don't blame the consumers. They had never seen any product. Even when my father made the ink and other products, struggling, and when he used to go to retailers or dealers would not allow him to enter the shop, saying that no, impossible, you can't deliver the product, it will not be quality and it will lie in my shop. So he used to give the product on credit. Keep it, and if you are able to sell it, I will collect the money. So this was the struggle, and even when, now I'll briefly tell you the history of Camlin, though it is known to everybody. 1931 was the period when my father started. It was Mahatma Gandhi who started around 40. The Swadeshi movement, burn all foreign products, but that didn't have real impact to some extent. It was only emotional appeal, but in physical terms, it didn't transform into the demand for Indian products. And then when I joined, I joined Camlin in 1958. That was, of course, after independence, but even that time, it was a controlled economy. Imports were continuing. So there was not much change when my father started with ink and when I started going into new venture. So answering your point, the consumer entrepreneur had to again think of an import substitution and fighting and convincing the Indian consumer that we can produce. So much so that when I went into briefly I'll tell you. Incidentally, my son is the student of Jai Hind. My grandson, who is doing final year BMS, is also student of this. I did my BSc from Jai Hind College and joined Camlin in 58. Went to England, worked as a technical director for 2 years. Went to England in 60. Did my master's degree in chemistry from Glasgow. And even before I went, I decided that I'll make something which is not made in India. I had an option because after doing, I could have got the job. It was not difficult. Joining a business, father's business, was not that easy. We were very small. You won't believe, in 1958 when I joined Camlin, our turnover of Camlin was only 18 lakh rupees. Of course, the growth story of India also started afterwards. And my joining company and my 2 cousin brothers were already there. So I thought I will join Camlin, but I will make something new. And then before going to England, Glasgow, I had also...
Always clear that you would join your family.
Yes, absolutely. No, not join the family. I will make something
different.
new.
Okay.
Joining the family was secondary. It was automatic.
Okay. You didn't have a choice.
No, I had a choice. My father had said, in fact, when I went to England, first he was not allowing me to go to England for different reasons. Because those are the days, all the boys, when they used to go to England, they used to marry there and come back. So that was different. But my father was really a mentor. He allowed me to observe. Because when I started BSc, I passed out in 58. So 3 years or 4 years, I used to go to the laboratory. He had set up a R&D. He was a great believer of innovation. He was a great believer in quality, productivity, human relations. So I observed him all along. And he never said. So I think it is Guru Shishya Parampara, what we call. It was the best form. And I would advise the young entrepreneurs to consider that. Teacher is important, but observing the teacher, observing the mentor. So he allowed me to do that. He never said, Subhash, what are you doing? Why you are saying? When he used to have meetings with the advertising agency, when he used to have meetings with the salespeople, he allowed me to stay. So that's how I learned. I hope I answered it.
Yes, of course. So, or how different is the role of an entrepreneur today than what it was in those days? Is it more difficult now? Was it more difficult then?
No, as you said, the grass is greener on the other side. So every period is difficult. You have to change. What is entrepreneur? Entrepreneur has to change with the time.
Yes.
Entrepreneur should see what is going to happen in future. I will give an example. When the earthquake takes place, we have modern gadgets. But who understands first? The animal.
Yes.
Animal is the first who gets disturbed. So entrepreneur should be such who should think of future, who should think of problems in future, and should not remain static. I always used to say just give you one example, when automobile industry did not change for a long time. I used to go abroad for traveling export. I visited Singapore. So when I became the chairman of SICOM, a lot of people, Kolhapur was foundry industry. And I went to meet those to whom we had given loans. So they all came to me saying that, sir, give us extension to pay, extension to repay. Now Maruti has come and now we are not able to sell. So my question to them was, how many times you have gone to Singapore on a holiday? Yeah, we almost go twice, once in a year, for shopping. I say, you never saw cars there? So this is what entrepreneurs should understand. And you should know what changes are taking place in the world and anticipate that those changes are going to take place here.
So you said that when you entered your family business, the idea was to disrupt. So what was the first disruption that you created? What was the first out-of-the-box product that you came up with? And if you can talk to us a little more as to over the years how you have disrupted.
As I said, I went to, when I joined business in 58, I decided to do something new, something which is import substitution. So since my father was in ink business, the first product which I thought was drawing ink. The ink which is used by architects, designers, engineering students, because that was closer to ink. So I started making, and I developed drawing ink, which was a very tough job, because even making it was, all the products which I had developed, I had researched them, I had done a lot of hard work, and with the help of all Indian scientists I did. So my first product was camel drawing ink. And when I made camel drawing ink before going to England, then thoughts came, drawing ink, which is the allied product. Then wax crayons, watercolors, poster colors, acrylic colors, markers, brushes, canvases, painting paper. So that's how the range developed. And by 1964, I came back in 61 from England and started extensively the research on these products. But even when I was in England for 1.5 years, what I would like to tell the young entrepreneurs, that you have to be a keen observer. I'm digressing somewhat, but it is related. See, all the inventions which are by Japanese, there are books written there, they were born out of their keen observation. Most of them Japanese used to travel to America, because America was a craze. So they used to, and two inventions I will only mention. One was a small radio. There used to be a big radio and small radio. Then transistor came afterward, but first was the small radio and the plastic jewelry. I'm just giving you two examples. There are so many examples. They happened because the inventor of both these different inventors visited America with their family, wife. And America is a large country like in India with different climates. So while he was enjoying his holiday with the family, he was observing, because he was already an entrepreneur. So he observed that America used to have a big houses. In Japan, land is scarce. So naturally the houses are very small. Number of rooms are also less, even today. When he went to America, he saw big houses, big bungalows, each house having 10 rooms, 11 rooms, 8 rooms. So suddenly the thought came to his mind that if I make today I am selling one big radio to America. If I make a small radio, instead of one, I will sell in per house 8, 10, 12. So that's how he developed it. Again, this is out of the keen observation, intense observation. Second invention about the plastic jewelry, also similar. He and his wife, they were traveling, and there are different climates. Hot climate, cold climate, ice, snow. So then in those days, metal jewelry was used. Not only gold, all types of metal. So he suddenly started thinking, and he was making some metal jewelry in Japan. So he said, if I make they must be finding it very, heat is creating problem. So if I make a non-conductive jewelry out of non-conductive material, and that's how the plastic jewelry was invested. Then of course the plating was done, everything was done. So this is what one should be observing. See, generally Indians earlier, when we are talking to businessmen, we only talk business. When we are going to a drama, we are engaged in drama. It's a good thing, cultural activity. But people around us, we are not watching from the point of view of what they are doing, what is their lifestyle. And if you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to think. Whether you go into business or not, that is different. But you have to be all the time thinking what can be done.
Is there any recent innovation or any recent disruption that you think has been particularly good and has met with all the parameters that you just talked about?
I'll tell you about first we started making wax crayons, then oil based, different mediums. Then oil color for artists and students was in use for the last 100 years. Winsor Newton is the company, English company, which is today more than 100 years old, or a French company. So these oil painting, oil medium colors were made when people had a lot of time. Artists had a lot of time. And they had large spaces. Because it takes 7 to 10 days for the painting to dry completely. Now then, I started thinking that with the changing time and speedy life, how is it possible? And then this also happened because I used to personally visit the studios of artists all over India, interact with the consumer reaction, consumer contact is very important, knowing the consumer, getting the feel of their problem. So when I thought that they are not able to, they have to store, if they want to have a one group show or one man show, then they have to have paint 50 paintings and it's difficult for them to store. Then I had already, because I was a chemistry graduate and I had known that there are acrylics that come, acrylic emulsions that come. So I made an application of the knowledge. See, many times you don't have to be original, but you should have thought of applying what you see in the commercial paint or acrylic paint, whether you can apply for your product. So then we developed acrylic colors, which are very fast. And now today, out of 100 sale, if 100 was oil color, now 80% is acrylic color, 20%. Secondly, we are in pencils. Now, pencils are traditionally made with wood. Wood is cut, processed, seasoned. Now, when I went to Japan, I found that mechanical pencils are very much popular. And many of you must have used them 0.5 millimeter, 0.7 millimeter. So that was around 1988. I decided to go into that. So I had a chance to have a technical collaboration with a Japanese company. It was a technical collaboration. Brand, I decided as far as possible, brand I will not change. And now today we are the leaders, brand leaders, with Camlin mechanical pencils. The advantage is that wooden pencil, because of the wood being natural, it has knots and so many things. So consumers to waste. Now here there is no wastage and there is benefit to it.
I would now like to know, since you've always been in your family-run business, it would be interesting to know how difficult or easy is it to work in a family-run business? Does it give you the flexibility that you would want to? Do you desire to have you ever thought of kind of being better off had you been, on your own, running your own business on your own? And I'm sure in this room there will be many who would be aspiring to, join the family-run businesses.
I think given the opportunity, if you are on your own, is nothing like it. There are advantages and disadvantages. In a family business, you get initial cushioning. You get a safety net when you join. If you are independent, you may not get that. But there are disadvantages that you have to be all the time convincing your family members. Whenever you are taking a decision, and if it is a dynamic decision, if it is a revolutionary decision, then it becomes difficult. I'll tell you my example. When I decided to diversify in 83, as a division of Camlin, we went into food antioxidants, preservatives, and pharmaceutical chemicals and pharmaceuticals. Now I met with a lot of resistance. Not because they were against, but they were afraid. Generally, as was explained initially, what is entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is a creator, but entrepreneur has to take a risk. Now, here the resistance or opposition from the family member may come and pass every time. You have an idea, you are a visionary, you have a capacity to turn an idea into business into profit, but the other person, family member, may not have the same vision, may not be able. So there you face the problem. And sometimes you cannot do things. Or you have to pursue, you have to have tenacity, you have to have all the time convincing power. You may succeed or you may not succeed.
How did you handle such situations? I'm sure it will be inspiring.
Yes. I was in a business where we have four not partners, because I was always a limited company. We have equal shareholders, 10% each. I had a lot of problems. But I tell you one thing. My belief is that you should not give up. And if you have a bright idea, and if you have studied it very scientifically, one thing I can talent is, and then you should have vision, ideas. But ideas can come. There are thousands of ideas may flow. But what is the leader? Leader is the person who transforms idea into an economic model, workable model, and turns it into business and wealth. There is a lot of confusion about profit and wealth or productivity and production. I would say just as a little guidance to all those who are here, there is a lot of difference between profit and wealth. And there is nothing wrong in profit if it is earned in the right manner with good values. But profit is very important for business. In initial stages in your startup business, you should plan. See, planning is very important. Planning doesn't require having any consultant to come and do the planning. Planning is your mindset, and you should be ready to accept. And once you make a plan, you should have a discipline to follow. And deviation between the budget and what you perform should not be too much, otherwise you'll land the problem. So, coming to your point, I had a lot of resistance, but I believe in building the blocks. So I said, okay, give me chance, give me 1 crore rupees to borrow, 2 crore rupees to borrow. And that way I went on. And new products, innovative products helped me increase the range, faster range, and having Camlin always had a FMCG model. Right from 1931, we always believed in going directly, not directly, either directly to the consumer or through the retailer, but being in touch with the consumer. And that's the reason why, if you go step by step, you have to win your partner, you have to win your shareholder. So that I was able to do because of quality, perseverance, efforts, and support with the management systems and financial discipline. I was able to do.
You just touched upon the concepts of investing to grow and profit managing, balancing the two. And is that a mistake that you see most of the new age entrepreneurs making? Are they focusing a little too much on growth and profitability is somewhere getting out of the...
Yeah, so some. I think you should be true to yourself. If you want to grow, you should not try to hide anything as far as finance position is concerned. And with your banker or with your investor or anybody, you should be frank and you should not overestimate. I have seen so many entrepreneurs, they just make a model and on paper, there are guidance given by CAs and accountants. They will say your break-even is so much. So what one they tend to do, they first decide the expenses. They don't calculate the raw inputs properly. And therefore they go wrong. And I see as a chairman of SICOM or even in part of my activities, once you can budget your loss, but you must remain within the budget. When you go over the budget, or when you budget with a higher top line, then the problem comes. If you budget with a lower top line, and accordingly you plan your inputs and expenses, then you are not off the mark too much.
I'm sure that's very insightful. If we could talk a little bit about the stationery market, which I think is highly organized and unorganized, a lot of unorganized players coming in, and you have tried to bring in some method to the madness. You have made people, you brought in the branded play into the picture and things like that. So how difficult was it? And again, in that space, what kind of opportunities do entrepreneurs have?
I'll tell you, talking about stationery market, it is not that unorganized now. It used to be unorganized around 60s, 70s, but now it is mostly organized. And the reason is the quality. Without quality, you cannot survive. You may you may be innovator, you may have grand ideas, you may have the best product, but if you fail in quality, you cannot survive. And for quality, you need different elements. In an organization, I would say that if you want to, as it is said, quality has no age.
Yes.
You should make a quality which is lasting. You cannot say that in Delhi is a cold climate, so my product will not last. In somewhere it is hot. It has to stand the test at all the time. Because consumer is everywhere. So it is important that you make a quality. So once you make a quality, if you want to make a quality, you need money to invest. Now gone are the days when you can make product with less investment in machinery. Automation or a semi-automation is a must. So my advice to those who would like to go into manufacturing, don't think of manufacturing initially. Because for manufacturing you need to spend a lot of money on machinery and plant. Without that your quality will not come. As was just now previous speaker said, that untouched milk it is the most important. I was also in pharmaceutical, and incidentally we also make food antioxidants which go into packaged food. So just like it has to be untouched, even any product. Now I'll give you an example of this cap. Now if this cap will be molded, now there was a time when one would do it in a small scale with less machine cost, and then when the product will come out, there will be 50, 100 girls sitting there and removing the flashes, that extra material which is there by blade. Those girls are gone. It should be untouched. You have to design the mold in such a way the machine has to be superb, proper pressure, proper heat. So when it comes out, it should be applicable for, if you are going to have thousands and lakhs of bottles, so much number of caps, each cap should fit to any bottle. So this is the specialization and standardization which has come, and without that quality is not possible.
So is the stationery industry, does it have enough opportunities for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Yes, there are different aspects of stationery product. I'll tell you one example. Ball pen is the largest segment. Ball pen and fountain pen is almost gone now, except some status symbol. But more than stationery, it's a very large word. There are exercise books, there is geometry box, then colors. I think it is very difficult to enter for a small entrepreneur, startup. I think, to be very frank with you, stationery is not for startup. Stationery needs a lot of R&D work, a lot of investment, branding, marketing. I think the ideal for startup is consumer usable. The products which are consumed very fast. Like there is one what he mentioned, but there are many such products. And of course, digital area. Now talking about digital, you asked the question to the earlier speaker. I think one has to think of computerization. In the own industry also, Camlin we started computerization in 1970, when very few multinational companies were also thinking. And this cashless society, which Govardhan already did, I was really surprised to know that today we are talking about cash. The money is there. Now if you use a credit card and if you have money in the account, in today's time also there is no problem. Because there is no restriction on how much debit card or credit card is used. It is only on the notes. So you have to think ahead. And again I would say that application of mind, whether it is computerization or use of technology, is more important.
I'll have to ask you this question.
But there is one thing. In stationery, there is a big scope for assembly. Because large manufacturers are looking to vendors for assembly. For example, I tell you, in ball pen, there are 5, 6, 8 parts. And they can be assembled on the machine, not by hand. If one thinks of assembling by hand, getting unskilled workers, that is not possible. So a lot of area, not only stationery, in Japan, house sector contributes about 30% to the economy. Women are doing assembly jobs with semi-automatic gadgets. So that scope is there for entrepreneurs.
So, since now we are in a demonetized economy, I had to ask you this question. I'm told a lot of startups have got affected because of this. So, what really is your advice, to entrepreneurs, in this phase of the economy? What do they really need to do? And
I think I'll tell you, if you think ahead of time, or if you are with the stream, we have got about 3,000 employees working in Camlin Group. Not a single person was affected because of demonetization. Why? 10 years ago, with HDFC and other banks, all their salaries, even the workmen, they are getting credited to their account. And they go to ATM. Even Tarapur, Tadoja, we have factories so many places all over India. So this is how technology and adaptation of technology before time helps you. We have no problem. Not a single employee of Camlin, whether from general manager or vice president to the operator, has faced problem of course. It is only, we have entrepreneurs in Tarapur, we have got so many industries, they have not adopted this. They are making money. They are after profit. And let me tell all my young entrepreneurs here, if you have to take care of your employees, if you have, when you start your own business, whether you have 4, 5, 6, 7, you have to look after their welfare. Now it is much more, but they must feel that they are part of your business in a true sense. And that is also one reason for Camlin's success. My father and we all took care of the business. There was a mayor of New York who wrote a book, not able to get his name, who was the mayor of New York, and he wrote a book. He writes in his book, which is very good for entrepreneur. He says, he was referring about fire brigade. Because as a mayor, he was also responsible for fire brigade. He says, marriage of your employee is not mandatory. It is optional. But funeral or illness of employee is mandatory. So everything is summed up in this. So please remember, don't treat, always find out, even Shah also mentioned about that. And that's also, his success is also because he took care of the farmers' social needs also, economic needs also. So even whether you have 5 people or 10 people or 20 people, my father in 1940, when there was no provident fund, he gave provident fund. When there was no maternity leave, he gave maternity. When there was no bonus, he made an agreement that piece of paper is still with me. 20% of the profit. I asked my father, how you thought of 20%? Now the government of India also has made 20% bonus. He said, no, I think he made 25%. So I said, he said 1/4 should go to them. So therefore, you meet any employee of Camlin anywhere, or a supplier, or a dealer, they will, I'm quite sure, I'm confident they'll talk good of it. And values is very important. You have good values. If you have good values, with 2,000 crore turnover we have the group, you will not find, nothing is by cash. Whether purchase, sale, nothing is by cash. So values are very important. Relationship with your employee is important. Welfare of your employee. And of course, you should have your own ability. That is different, but this is also important.
So I'm sure you have got a bag full of insights, Mr. Dandekar. Thank you so much, sir.
Just one word. If you want to survive, grow, always do some export. Whatever service or product you do, make sure that it is sent abroad, either through you or through the channels which are in touch with the foreign company. The reason is We were in Malaysia, Camlin went to Malaysia. In 1971, we had a full-fledged factory and we were marketing the products in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and for 12 years we were there. And therefore, we learned what is competition. And when the 1991 was the period when liberalization took place, we did not face any problem. Even the imports of China came, we did not, and all our employees had a moral courage and ability and experience to face it. So always remember, you should think of how your product will face. And last word, if your quality of the product or service is equal to the best in the world, try to match it equal to the best in the world. And if the service also is equal to the best product in the world, you will never fail.